I don't think this is like a normal kind of play-in basketball team. This is a Warriors team, one of the best teams in the Western Conference. That's a really, really, really good Clippers team. And the Warriors took them to overtime and very easily could have won that basketball game. This was a rough Warrior loss. Again, the final score, 124-119 in favor of the Clippers. The Clippers are a postseason team. The T-Wolves, because they win in Utah, are also a play-in game, a playoff team. The Warriors are the play-in team. This game obviously went to overtime. Warriors had chances throughout to win this. They got off to, originally, it was a really quick start for the Clippers. Then the Warriors' defense was amazing in the middle part and end of the first quarter. The Clippers dominated the second quarter, and they take a 2-point lead going into half. Warriors kind of was back and forth in the second half. Some nervous time down the stretch of regulation, and then Steph just took over in this game today. Steph Curry, you look at the stats, and they look pretty darn good. Steph had, in this basketball game, 36 points in this one, Steph did. He made 7 of his 12 threes. In the fourth quarter, he had 18 of his 36 points. He was a perfect 5 for 5. He played nearly a perfect fourth quarter. And then he committed a turnover down the stretch, and the Warriors did not even get a shot up in a tie basketball game in the final minute. And that turnover was kind of indicative of what kind of game this was for Steph. The fourth quarter was amazing. Steph played himself not off the floor. Steph can never play himself off the floor, but he had one of the worst first 3 quarters of a game that he's had this season. He had 15 points through 3 quarters, 5 turnovers, was just 4 for 12 from the field. Then just came out and played amazing in the fourth until he committed that turnover on the Warriors' final offensive possession of regulation. They can't even get a shot up in a tie game. Then the Warriors foul Kawhi Leonard once the game clock gets under 14 seconds to recycle the shot clock and essentially allow the Clippers to ice the game, and the Warriors don't get another chance. So their last offensive possession was that Steph Curry turnover under the basket. Now they did luck out. Kawhi missed a deep 2. Good defense by Draymond to force overtime, but then it was more of the same in overtime when Steph committed 2 more turnovers, got his pocket picked by Chris Dunn, led to a James Harden 3. He hit a 3 before that. That made it a 6-0 beginning to overtime for the Clippers. Steph did come back and make another 3. Then the Warriors have the ball, down 1 possession. Steph gets himself into trouble in the corner and throws the ball away, another turnover. That was his 8th turnover. And the Warriors could not recover from those 8 turnovers. They might have been able to win this game with only 7 turnovers from Steph, but they couldn't do it with 8 turnovers. That was the story of the game. Turnovers itself wasn't really that big of an issue for the Warriors. As a team, they committed 16 turnovers, turned into 23 points off of turnovers for the Clippers, but half of them came from Steph. I'm seeing a lot of blame Steve Kerr, and I hear you. Kuminga did not play in this game. Guy Santos did not play in this game. Warriors, a lot of Warrior fans calling for more size against Zubats. He played Kevon Looney a decent amount. For me, it's hard for me to look past the 8 turnovers from Steph. I don't really put this one on Steve Kerr. There was the Draymond Green missed layup at the end of overtime that would have tied this game down the stretch, and he missed that one. I know people are poking fun at Steve Kerr for drawing up that play at the end of OT. Warriors down 3, final possession for them on offense, like 6 seconds left. Out of a timeout, they call up an out-of-bounds play for Buddy Hield. And, yeah, on the surface, maybe you question that, but they're not going to allow Steph to get free. And the other guys you got out there, who do you trust to shoot? Buddy Hield's been better down the stretch. So I'm not putting this thing on Steve Kerr. You got 8 turnovers from Steph. You had a missed layup from Draymond down the stretch. It's hard to win basketball games that way. And this is a really, really good Clippers basketball team. I think not trying to, convince you that this wasn't a rough loss, because it was, and it means a whole lot. The Warriors are still not a playoff team just yet. But I don't think this is like a normal kind of play-in basketball team. This is a Warriors team that is pretty clearly one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And I know that they have to win a play-in game in order to just be a playoff team. And at best, they're going to be the 7 seed. I get all of that. This is the Clippers team that just came in here today as the hottest basketball team in the NBA. And the Warriors took them to overtime. And I know that we're not in the business of moral victory. Right? This is a Warrior team and a Warrior franchise that has won 4 championships over the last decade. Like, I get it. That's a really, really, really good Clippers team. Really good Clippers team. And the Warriors were right there with them and very easily could have won that basketball game. So this isn't, sky is falling. This season's over. This team isn't capable of even beating, anyone in the play-in. Like, this is still a really good Warriors basketball team, but they just couldn't quite get it done down the stretch. I mean, you look at the final stretch of the season. They go 2-3 in their final 5. It's rough. They go 7-5 in their final 12. It just was one game too poor. Warriors turn any of those 5 losses in their final 12 into a win, and they are a postseason team, and they're gearing up to take on the Lakers in the first round instead of gearing up to play the Memphis Grizzlies in a play-in game coming up on Tuesday, and it'll be right here at Chase Center. Now, the good news is, again, they could win that game on Tuesday, still get Wednesday off, still get Thursday off, still get Friday off, maybe Saturday off if the NBA gives the Warriors a Sunday date for their first game of the postseason, and you could get the Houston Rockets. And I think there's a lot of Warrior fans out there who probably think the Houston Rockets might be a better matchup for the Warriors than the Lakers. But again, we can talk about that a little bit later on. I think what stands out to me in this game is, first of all, it was a really, really high-level basketball game. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are still absolutely amazing. I think Jimmy Butler was awesome in this game as well. I mean, Jimmy Butler played 48 minutes and 2 seconds. Jimmy Butler was amazing in this game, and I think he kind of wore down. And, I mean, he played 48 minutes. I would understand it in this one. He had 30 points, 9 assists, 12 of 20 from the field, 6 of 9 from from the free throw line. He did miss a couple of free throws, and that was a big thing in this game. Warriors at the free throw line, they were 18 for 23. Not terrible, but you left some really key points on the line there in the fourth quarter. And, you get one of those to go. Who knows? It changes the course of the rest of the game, but that might have been the difference in a win or a loss in this one for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler was awesome. And then at the very end of overtime, he was limping around out there on the court, could really not do anything on offense, couldn't do much on defense either. They were hiding him on Ivica Zubats in the last defensive possession, the real defensive possession, other than just fouling the Clippers to extend the game and send them to the free throw line. He just took a knee to the quad, a knee from Kawhi Leonard to the quad. He said that he's okay. So it doesn't seem like anything major there from Jimmy Butler. But I thought Jimmy was amazing in this game. This was the closest thing to playoff Jimmy that we've seen so far. I think he did wear down a little bit late. But, I mean, he had 30 points in this game and 9 assists, and he was an efficient 12 for 20 from the field. But the Warriors don't have enough to get it done. I mean, the Clippers just kept coming at the Warriors. How good was Kawhi Leonard? 33 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. How good was James Harden? James Harden took over in overtime. The Clippers scored 13 points in overtime, and James Harden scored 12 of them. He was amazing in this game. 39, 7, and 10 for James Harden. Kawhi had 33, 6, and 7. I think the fact of the matter, pretty simple, is those two, Harden and Kawhi, just outplayed Steph and Jimmy. And it's not like you had absolutely pitiful games from any of them. I mean, Steph scored 36. He just had 8 turnovers. And when you factor in those turnovers, that Clippers duo outplayed the Warriors duo. And you didn't get a ton elsewhere. I mean, you did get 19 from Podziemski, and he was 7 of 11 from the field. You got 14 from Draymond. He made 2 big threes in the fourth quarter. He was 4 for 6 from downtown, made a big one in overtime as well. I thought Draymond had himself a good game offensively. He did leave the game early, grabbing at his neck, the back of his neck in the first quarter. Went back to the locker room for a bit, eventually came back out and played mostly his normal minutes. He ultimately played 38 minutes in this game. Steph played 38. Butler played 48. Podziemski played 43. And the Warriors went to a shortened rotation, as you generally do in the postseason. Kuminga did not play. Guy Santos did not play. It was the starters, and then 25 minutes from Gary Payton, 16 minutes from both Buddy Hield and Kevon Looney, and 10 minutes from Quentin Vost. That was it. That was it for the Warriors. A little bit surprising that we didn't see any Kuminga. I don't necessarily hate the decision in a game that was, going to be decided by a point or two. It went to overtime, for goodness sakes. It just takes one bad possession from anybody, and that's the difference in the ball game. And that's not necessarily fair to put on Kuminga because it's the same for everybody. I mean, it was the same for Steph Curry, who committed 8 turnovers in this one. And I'm honestly shocked that the points off turnovers were not a bigger deal. Both teams committed 16 turnovers. The Clippers turned those 16 turnovers into 23 points. The Warriors turned those 16 turnovers into 20 points. So a 3-point edge there for the Clippers, but that wasn't a crazy one. What did hurt the Warriors in this one was the rebounds. The Warriors got absolutely killed on the glass. The Clippers out-rebounded the Warriors 48-34, including 9-3 on the offensive glass, and the Clippers had a 14-6 edge on second-chance points. Warriors needed to go to a bigger lineup to help combat them on the glass, and I hear you. I'm just asking you what that is. I mean, Kevon Looney played a decent chunk today. Quentin Post was getting played off the floor. So I don't really know what the solution is. The Warriors don't have a solution to their size issue on the roster currently. Like, Kevon Looney is a big, but he's not even close to 7 feet either. Ivica Zubac is just a load. This is a really difficult team to play against. And you talk about the Clippers defensively and what they can do against Steph Curry. I mean, you can throw Chris Dunn on Steph. You can throw Derrick Jones Jr. on Steph. You can throw someone like, even Kawhi, you could put on Steph. Norman Powell, you've got athleticism, you've got length, you've got quickness. It was Chris Dunn that picked Steph's pocket to begin overtime that led to a Harden 3 in the 6-0 beginning for the Clippers. This is just a really, really good Clippers team. So I want to hear all your frustration because I feel it myself, but I can't come around to the idea that this is suddenly like sky is falling and confirmation that the Warriors are a bad basketball team. That Clippers team is one of the best teams in the NBA. And honestly, I would not be shocked if this is a Clippers team that is playing in the Western Conference Finals. They're the 5 seed. They'll be taking on Denver. I am picking the Clippers to beat Denver in the first round. That might not be like super out there, but I would not be shocked if we see the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. That would mean they would likely have to beat OKC to get there. This is an amazing Clipper team. Really, really good Clipper team. And, this is a rough Warriors loss, but it's not as if this loss suddenly means the Warriors are just an absolutely bad basketball team. They had bad moments. And they deserve to lose this game. There's absolutely no doubt. But I don't think this is a basketball team that is looking at what their reality is now and thinking like their season is over. Because you've got Memphis, a team you just beat on the road recently. I know Steph had to do 52 points to get you to that win. But if you take care of business there, then you've got Houston in the first round. You still got a bunch of days off leading up to it. And you're feeling okay about yourself. The one that the Warriors are really going to kick themselves for isn't this game, although they had their opportunities. It was San Antonio a couple of games ago here at home, because you win that game, and no matter what happened today, you were going to be the 6th seed and you were going to be a postseason team, and you could have rested everybody today for this game as well, but it ultimately didn't end up working out that way. I mentioned it off the top that Kuminga didn't play. I'm just at the point where even when Kuminga's playing, he hasn't consistently impacted winning. And I don't know how many times I have to say it at this point. He's for this team right now, whatever you think about his ability and whether you think he's mismanaged and whether you think it's Steve Kerr's fault or whatever you think, Kuminga right now at best is like the 9th or 10th man on this Warrior team. And Steve Kerr proved that, and maybe you blame Steve, and that's fine. Even when he plays, he's not helping the team win basketball games. He was really good against the Lakers in LA. He was awesome in that game. Since then, he hasn't helped the Warriors win basketball games. And that's just the reality. It's just the fact. If you're watching these games and you're not seeing that, I don't know what to tell you. So Steve Kerr not playing him today, it was Steve Kerr telling the world that he does not have confidence in Kuminga to help the Warriors win basketball games right now. And you could totally disagree with him, and that's okay. I'm just telling you what the Warriors think. And in this instance, that's what the Warriors think. And the Warriors are going to prioritize what they think helps them win basketball games over developing JK or doing what's right or what's fair to JK. It's just the reality of the NBA. And if you honestly think that Jonathan Kuminga over the last 5 games had shown you that he was going to have the ability to come in here and help the Warriors win this basketball game, then frankly, I just disagree with you. Now, Warriors get down big, nothing's working. Do you go to JK? Yeah, sure. See if he could have one of those games. But I don't know if the game ever really called for him. I mean, how many times do you see Steph Curry clap for the ball from Kuminga when it gets to Kuminga and Kuminga takes a three or the ball stops in his hands, he tries to drive, can't go anywhere, kicks it out, and then suddenly it's a dead possession because there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock and the Warriors have nothing going and they got to take a tough shot. If you watch Steph Curry's body language when the ball finds JK, it's not pretty. I'm telling you. I don't know what else to say at this point. Did JK have a really good game down in LA versus the Clippers earlier this year? Yeah, he did. 34 points, a career high. That was without Steph and without Draymond. Did he have really good games against the Houston Rockets earlier this year? Yes, those were both without Steph, and he helped the Warriors to wins in those games. And it's post-injury with Jimmy Butler. It's an entirely different team. I get it. Jonathan Kuminga is this hot-button topic, and he doesn't play, and the Warriors lose, so naturally everybody's going to say, well, he had to play, and if he played, the Warriors were going to win this game. I'm just telling you, he hasn't been a winning player since he came back from the injury. The vast majority of the time, he has not been a winning player, and in moments where you have to win a game to go to the postseason, Steve Kerr isn't going to risk that with a player that consistently of late hasn't proved to be a winning player. And maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you feel like that's not the case, that he is a winning player, and then simply you and I don't see eye to eye in terms of what we're watching on the basketball court. I don't know what else to say at this point.